I'd like to call the Thursday, November 19th, North Branford Board of Education meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Roll call.
Chairman Papa-Holzer.
Here.
Vice Chair Candelora.
Here.
Secretary Sienna.
Here.
Janet Balsamo. Here. Vincent Mace.
Here.
Marcy Anafrio. Here. Cynthia Rice.
Here. Mrs. Fleck.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, there's no visitors here, but it's still waiting for someone to check questions or responses. Nothing?
Mr. Williams is here.
Mr. Williams is here to check, but there's nothing coming through?
Nothing coming through at this point.
So he's logged on, so if there's anything, he will be our conduit to
Perfect, okay,
anything,
great.
okay?
There's no student representatives. We'll move on to approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 21st, 2020 Board of Education meeting as submitted.
Second.
Discussion? Mary, can we have a roll call vote?
Sure. Chairman Papa-Holzer.
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna.
Yes.
Janet Balsamo.
Yes.
Vincent Mace.
Abstention.
Marcy Anafrio.
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Abstain. And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 29th, 2020 Board of Education special meeting as submitted.
Second.
Discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, Mary?
Chairman Papa-Holzer.
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora.
Abstain.
Secretary Sienna.
Yes.
Janet Balsamo.
Yes.
Vincent Mace.
Yes.
Marcy Anafrio.
Yes.
Cynthia Rice.
Yes.
Personnel is next, but the superintendent and Martha Vaughn, Director of Personnel and Business, will provide the board with an update on the status of the leave requests. We'll do that in the superintendent's report, or do you want to do it here?
We could do it in executive session.
Perfect.
We can take care of that.
Okay. Scott, it's all you now.
Thank you.
That was that quick.
Okay. I'm hoping that on Facebook Live right now that I have Miss Jillian Shove on, who is our PTO president at Jerome Harrison. Are you seeing anything from Jillian Shove? S-H-O-V-E? Okay, I'm just going to read through the narrative. If she does come on, then we'll have her. I know she was trying to log in and comment. She's the president of Jerome Harrison Elementary School, and she's presenting a donation to the Board of Education for $14,184.32 to cover the cost of new outdoor climbing structures for the students at Jerome Harrison School. This is a project that they started over a year ago. It's going to go in the front part of Jerome Harrison. The town came in and removed a swing set there to make room for this new piece of equipment. They were hoping this past year to be able to do it over a 2-year period, but they raised enough money in virtual fundraising to fund the entire project. So they'll need you to approve this donation, and when the ground thaws, we then will have the playground put in. So we want to thank the Jerome Harrison PTO under the leadership of Ms. Jillian Shove for all of their efforts in making this happen.
She's online now.
Is she typing anything?
She typed something.
Do you want to read it?
Sure. Hello everyone, my name is Jillian Shove, and I am the PTO president in Jerome Harrison for 2 years now. When I started on the board at Jerome, I thought how wonderful it would be to fundraise for an actual object that can be at the school permanently. This would not have been possible without our extremely generous families participating in our fundraising events for the last 2 years. The PTO is donating the cost of the entire climbing structure, which totals $14,184. We are beyond excited that we will be able to reach this goal. Not only is it an amazing addition to our school, but it's also an amazing addition to our town. Our children and future children can play and enjoy this for many years to come. Ms. Parker has picked out an awesome structure for the children, It's been so wonderful working with her on the project. I have attached a picture below of what we have purchased. The delivery is in process, and we cannot wait to see it up and running. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I will obviously forward the picture to everyone, so we don't have to look at it on the screen.
So why is this on the agenda if they already bought it then? Why is there a motion? Because I was looking at the Jerome Harrison minutes or what's going on, and the purchase was already made.
So you have to approve a donation.
So so how come it went that way, I guess is my question.
So you have to approve
They
the
already
14,000.
purchased it.
They already purchased it.
So what are we approving, I guess is my question.
Well, as a board, as part of our policy, any donation over $1,000 of something, you have
So
to.
why did they purchase it first without us?
Are you gonna say no to $14,000
Well,
donation?
They've been working on it for 2
It's the
years.
process,
Jim,
it's not what it is,
point of order.
it's
The
the
motion
process.
hasn't been made yet.
So
The
for,
motion should be made, then she can ask her question. The motion hasn't even been made yet. She's already questioning something. Let somebody I'll make the motion. I move to approve the donation in the amount of $14,184.32 for the outdoor climbing structure at Jerome Harrison Elementary School with grateful appreciation.
Second.
Discussion.
I can actually discussion.
So I guess my question is, I don't understand why the motion's there if it's already purchased. I'm just asking the
so
process.
over 2 years, they've been trying to do this, and they didn't think it was going to happen this quickly. They had the money. The vendor came out, they looked at it. It's like anything else, timing and everything with this piece of equipment. They purchased it. Beth was excited about it. You always can vote no. You can say.
Yeah, but why didn't we have, I guess my question
Well, we
is,
didn't-
it's already purchased, why wouldn't we have a special meeting over this?
Well, it's not a special meeting item. You don't have to, if you don't want to accept it, you just say we don't want to accept it. You have a vote
Right,
to
I'm
say
just
no.
wondering the process of it.
Well, no,
Because
that is the
it's already
process. The
purchased.
process was followed. We're following the policy. If you don't want to accept anything over $1,000, just vote no for it. Okay, so I don't want to take anything away from the PTO for their efforts to
I'm
make
not
this
doing that.
happen.
I'm just questioning
It just,
the
it
process.
sounds like you're trying to create something that's not there.
Well, I'm
It
just
was in good faith that they did
No,
this.
and I get that stuff.
And it
I'm
is a
just
policy of
wondering
$1,000.
Why it was already purchased without an approval.
Well, to get it
That's all I'm
here,
asking.
the
Like, shouldn't it have
construction.
gone on last month?
They didn't have the money. The construction time to get it done, to order it, to then have it shipped and sent to us, to get it here for the spring. And there's, like anything else at these times, it's out for how many months to get something like this done. So in order to do it, the first thing is paying for it.
Well, they already
So
did it.
they
It
can't,
says it was already paid for that.
they can't start to build and put this thing together because it's all customized for us until they have the money.
You're
So-
approving the actual donation of the equipment, you're not approving the purchase.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So if you're not, you can vote against it, Carolyn.
That's clear. Yes, thank you, Mark.
It's a policy for donation. If you read your policy book, you'll
No.
see
Well,
it.
that was the key. So the
Okay.
key was we're not approving the equipment, we're approving the donation.
Right.
And that's
the
the process
policy.
piece that Carolyn was asking.
Thank you,
What-
Mark.
Yeah, and that is in the policy. If you read it, you'll
Yep.
see it.
Yeah,
Anything,
yeah, you guys want to answer my question. Mark.
anything over $1,000 of a donation.
Wait, I think
Which is
Carol-
what we said.
Is there any more discussion?
Now, call the question.
Would you see you have a cup? I'm sorry.
I said, call the question.
Okay.
No, call the question, we're done.
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes.
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's find ourselves now here. Communications. Hopefully you've had a chance to see what has been going on in the schools. They're all listed there if you have any questions. The administrators are on right now, so they can log in if you have any specific questions. I don't know if there's anyone that has a specific question, anything about anything here, we can ask them at this time. If not, we'll move on to field trips. There are no field trips at this time, but we have been doing virtual things with different locations. I know the Best Buddies today were working with a group in California. So we had regular ed students and special education students working remotely with students in California. So it's not like there's zero going on right now. We're doing the best we can through remote and giving these kids the experiences, which has been very valuable. I've been briefing you every day on our COVID-19 update. I provided updates on a daily basis to you. If anything, I have weekly Zoom meetings on Thursday with East Shore Health and all of the town. And we share ideas and where we're at. And then what I've been doing, anytime I have a positive case of a student or staff member, I notify the entire district and the board within 24 hours time because I want to be completely transparent. I want to keep everyone in the know. I want you to know exactly what's going on in all of our schools with our students and staff. To date, we are in our 50th day of school, and we currently have, this is real time, we've had 10 staff members that have been positive. This is going back to September 8th, okay? So this is from day one of school, 50 days into the school year. We have had 10 staff members and 22 students test positive, okay? So when we go through this process, we do our contact tracing and we work with East Shore Health. We do the lion's share of our contact tracing, which saves East Shore Health a great deal of time. They are very appreciative and complimentary of how we're working with them, with our administrators, and we've been able to not shut down our buildings. Many schools are shutting down because of the contact tracing. It takes so much time, there's so much resources that go into it. We work with them, and within 1 or 2 hours, we're able to send students out to quarantine, or positive students, and have the parents come and pick them up. We have a whole process and protocol. So I want to compliment the administrators, the nursing staff has been unbelievable with working with East Shore Health, and the 2 workers at East Shore Health have been wonderful. So I'll answer any questions. All of the information we're getting now that we're seeing from the governor is, whatever you can do, stay open. East Shore Health is saying to us now, stay open as long as you can do it safely. And that's been something that since day one, we've been trying to do. Our greatest challenge is when we have staffing situations where supervision and manning classrooms. So we've been attempting to bring on additional substitutes and trying to stockpile a little bit of our subs. So if we do have a situation where 4 or 5 staff members have to go out, we don't have to shut a building down. As you recall, we shut the 5th grade down because we had 2 teachers and 2 quarantined. We had them out for 2 days, and then we were able to get them back. We had the 2 negative tests for the other 2, so we were fine. We were down 2 teachers for the 14 days. And we were able to cover that, and then they taught remotely and sent the lessons in. We're finding that through our contact tracing that it's not spreading in school. We're seeing pockets of middle school age students after Halloween, and we trace it back to trick-or-treating and Halloween parties, and believe me, East Shore really digs down. They find out, okay, who had the party, who was there, and then we trace, quarantine, and find out which students were affected. We had a blip with the youth hockey at the rink. We had some younger students there that were the lion's share of that age group. The high school you were aware of with our field hockey team, that was early on. That was the 2nd week of September. We had 4 students that were positive that then came back. We had an undefeated season, and they did really well. So it's going to ebb and it's going to flow. We have probably close to 200 students quarantined right now in all of the buildings.
I'm sorry, what was the number? I didn't hear you.
Probably close to 200. Just 2 days ago, I was at 167, but you just got the announcement for the additional 20 from Jerome. So when we get a positive test, it was a paraprofessional, we'll take an entire cohort out. Okay, we don't try to go through and say, okay, who's 6 feet from, we take the whole cohort and we separate them. When we get to the high school, because the students switch classes, we then go from each class and we do a 6-foot circular perimeter around the positive case, and then we quarantine those students for 14 days. So if a student is in 6 classes, for one student, you could get 24 to 30 kids with a full schedule of quarantined students, okay? And there's no discussion about if you're there, you're out for the 14 days. And that's why you see the numbers start to get close to 200.
That's about 12% of our students.
Well, and they're rolling back in now. So I think this week we have about 50 students rolling back in.
Okay.
they'll be coming back.
And when they're quarantining at home, they're still doing their work, correct?
Absolutely, they go to live instruction through remote, so then
So they're not losing days, really?
no, they're in the classroom, the teacher then teaches to those remote learners with their students, their live students as well. So it's been a great effort on everyone to stay open, to continue to stay open, and we really feel we're doing it in a safe manner. It's taxing on the administration, it's taxing on the nursing staff, but it far outweighs going into a hybrid or teaching remotely. I sent you the video and the information about 7 suicides in Connecticut in the last 6 weeks by high school age students, 2 right here on the shoreline, which is devastating. I also sent information about a student that we're still praying for, and we just know that the winter months coming, the dark, long, cold winter months, creates a feeling whether we're in a pandemic or not. And now coupled with being out, with the potential for some districts that have gone into remote learning through January, and the mantra has been with us, if you close, it's really hard to come back. And a lot of these districts have never gotten out of hybrid, and now they're going into remote, and they probably won't open again. Because you know that the numbers are going to continue to increase. They're not going to go down after the Thanksgiving holiday, they're not going to go down after Christmas. So we're trying to navigate and do as best we possibly can. We're doing a practice day next Tuesday. All of the students and staff will be working remotely. We're doing that for 2 reasons. For snow days, we're not going to have a snow day this year. If we have inclement weather, we're going to do a remote day. The state gave us the authority to do that. And then, we just want to be able that if on short notice we did have to close down, we'd be able to. So that'll be a test day. The students will come back in on Wednesday for half day, and then we're on to our break.
So do the students take their Chromebooks home every night, or are they supposed to be taking
They're
them?
instructed to. So
They should be.
the Tucket students were signing off on their acceptable use policy, and I think we got that done. And then all of the technology, I see nodding heads, is in their hands right now.
Yes.
So we're in good shape.
So they take it home, that way in case something
Tucket
happens
does.
at night.
In Jerome, my son's taking an iPad home every day.
That's great, so
Yeah, the little
in case
guys have
something
the
happens
iPad.
at night, when they're ready
So
to
they
go.
just started that, I think, two days ago, 3 days ago, yeah.
With the iPads.
Yeah, and then I have a charger, I charge it overnight, and then he just takes it back in the morning, so.
So Bruce, I'm putting you on the spot. How many of the Chromebooks have come in so far? 200 and...
We actually got 360 Chromebooks free from the state.
Wow.
Are they all in right now?
They're all in right now.
So we got the first load was 2 something, and we just got an additional...
We're giving new ones to the 6th graders, hopefully before the break.
Oh, wow, okay, so before Wednesday, so that's nice. So we
You
have
said free?
free.
360.
So
360.
Chromebooks start in 5th grade, and is iPads earlier?
Third now.
Okay, so 3rd grade to high school is Chromebooks,
Yes.
and then kindergarten to 2nd is iPads?
Yes,
Okay.
So we have well over 1,000 Chromebooks.
yes.
We will by the time we get this load out to the
About
6th grade.
1,200.
1,200 out.
We keep rotating, and as they break them, we try to get them fixed as quick as possible back in their hands.
Right. Which is impressive. And thank you to the state of Connecticut. Because that's something that, I think we pay close to $200 for a Chromebook.
More than that.
More.
300.
300. Okay, times 360. So it's
And the state gave us how many, you said?
360.
okay. So are there any questions on COVID or what we're doing? I'm trying to keep you privy with, whenever I send a letter to the district or parents, I always blind CC or CC you on that, so you get that and you just kind of know where we're at. And we'll continue with the 24-hour updates of anyone, positive staff, positive student in quarantine, we send out. We just feel it's better to keep people apprised than finding out that, you had 10 kids out and we didn't know, and it comes with both sides of that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Martha for the
Okay.
finance.
So I gave each one of you a packet. The first, there's a few papers in here, so we'll go through them. The first thing you have is the budget summary for 2021. In summary, the 2021 budget is running smoothly. I don't have any concerns at this point. To date, we've expended $8.7 million, and we have an additional $19.4 million that is encumbered year to date. I also gave you some budget transfers. The majority of them are just for your reference. We're moving, like the first one, for instance, we're moving money from the certified salary teacher line at Jerome Harrison to the line at Jerome Harrison for lead teacher and for kindergarten screening. Those two accounts were not originally budgeted for, but to keep things more transparent, we created lines for those two specific things. And then if you read down, pretty much the transfers are very similar to the first one, moving money to places where we needed it. There's two towards the
What
bottom.
do you mean, like, where you needed it?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, what do you mean where you needed it? You moved money to where you needed it?
So I didn't budget for lead teacher Jerome Harrison or kindergarten screening.
Oh, so you just moved it to its own category, so.
Yeah, because we created new
Okay.
lines to keep things
Okay, so we know where you
to
moved
clear.
it to.
Yeah,
Got it, okay.
yeah. So the last two, not the last two, I'm sorry, the two to the last, one is to cover property and liability insurance. There was a shortage there. I believe I made an error when I did the budget in looking at last year's budget. I think some of the expenditures were not coded very clearly before I got here, so in turn I missed. And also for advertising and printing, there was not enough budgeted there. So we're using some money from a line that's called OPEB contribution, and through some of the recent retirements, we won't need as much in that OPEB contribution line. So that's why I'm able to move the money to the property and liability and the advertising and printing lines. Any questions on those? The next report that you should have in front of you is a report for Fund 25. If you remember, Fund 25 is the 2% that the town allowed us to carry over from the 1920 budget. I did put a disclaimer on the top. This really is for illustration purposes only, and we will move allocations around to different account numbers based on need as determined by the superintendent. So, but I wanted to show you that this is how a new fund in the system is going to look, and it's completely separate from the general fund, so we'll be able to keep track of it very clearly. We'll be able to see where the expenditures are and how much is left, most importantly, as we go through this school year. The next report is the grants. And again, I want to tell you this is a work in progress. This was, it seems simple, but actually there's a lot of work that went into creating these two separate funds. We had to not only create the fund in the financial software, we had to create the account numbers and all the general ledger numbers that go along with that. We had to set up requisitions and printing and the check printing ability in the printing part of our software. And so it's a lot of work. And in general, I'll just walk you through the account numbers so you know what they mean. It's very similar to our general fund. The first digit is the fiscal year. So we end in 21, that's where the 1 comes from. 04 signifies it's the grant fund. So any grant number you see will begin with 04. The next number is the object. The next number is the program, or what they call the function number, and I try to get this number as close to the state identification number as possible so we could tie it back. The 7-7 just simply means the location, and that is for district-wide. And the 0 to 1, or those last 3 digits, will signify when the grant ends. So 0 to 1 means that this grant will end in June of 2021. What our next step now is to actually go and take some of the expenditures that are sitting in QuickBooks and move those expenditures over to the Alio system. And then once we do that, we'll have a real financial report that will be very useful, and it will be a lot easier for us to track the grants, a lot easier to request items, and all of our transactions will follow the same system, which is very important for internal control. Any questions?
No question.
No?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So I was saying, yeah, a year later, you're still trying to get through all this.
It was,
It's a big undertaking.
yeah,
Was
yeah,
my
when you
point.
pull on this, the ball, the string, and
Yeah, exactly.
So, I do have a question, so there's actually like probably, in essence, POs out there that are gonna be put towards this, and these account balances aren't what we see here? Or-
yes, in
Okay.
some cases, yes, yep.
I like how she did the transfers.
Yes.
That's much clearer. I like how you did that.
Okay, good. And that's it for me.
All right, we're good. Okay, so town manager pending request. I've been giving you updates on the high school project and moving forward with that. There was also an RFP that was completed by Rusty Malik by QA&M.
Before we do that, the town manager pending request, one of them was a software demo, and it was requested for December 8th, but that was another meeting. So did we ever land on a date for that,
The communication going back
for
and
the
forth.
demo?
Yeah, the only email I saw was that there's a town finance committee meeting on December 8th, and then there hasn't been.
That's where it
another-
ended, right?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
That's where the communication
Yes,
ended?
yeah, there hasn't been anything else.
Martha, will you just follow up and see if
I
we
will.
could land on a date, because the holidays are,
Coming quickly.
they're like, yeah,
That
they're
was the
here.
last one from Rose Angeloni, December 8th.
Yes,
With that
yep.
update.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So the RFP was drafted and accepted and submitted. So that will go out now into the bidding process, and that whole process will start aggressively. There was a meeting last night, and Beth, I sent you an email back today. You had sent me an email.
Yes, I didn't open it this
Oh, okay, so I responded to you, but Tuesday at 2:55, I got an email that there was an invitation to a scheduled Zoom meeting for Wednesday. So it wasn't really a lot of notice before the Wednesday meeting, but it was to pick a committee for the screening for an architect. So as you know, in the past, we had a committee that was formed for the feasibility studies. So I called Mike Paulus on Wednesday and shared that we want to have 3 members similar to what we had for the feasibility study. Michael Paulus said that he was going to have the same members from that original feasibility study. So I gave him the 3 names of who sat in on our feasibility study. So those are placeholders. If 3 different people want to do it, 3 people, doesn't matter who does it, we just want to have 3 on there. So as the chair, that's under your purview to determine who the 3 will be. So the 3 before were the 2, and Jana sat on the feasibility for that one.
So Jana, do you still want to be on that committee, on the architect
Yes.
committee? Okay, and I know Marcy, you do too.
Yes.
Beth, how strongly do you feel? Because I'll give up my seat if you feel that strongly.
No, if they're just doing the feasibility study group, then I defer to that.
Okay,
And
are you
stay
sure?
on the building. yeah.
Okay.
And we really
I mean, I
follow.
would like to, but they said that they can't have 4.
No, it has to be
That's
balanced.
more, yeah.
But,
That's
and I said to Mike, that they were following suit with the same members from the council. I just gave the same names. I said, we're meeting tonight. If there was going to be a change, we could easily,
Swap it out.
notify them. They don't care who does it.
Yeah, no.
We just want to have 3.
Right, and just for clarity purposes, the ad hoc committee turned into the building committee.
And that'll be ongoing.
And Beth is has a seat on that committee.
Correct.
She's-
Nothing's
yeah.
changed for the ad hoc.
She's our representative for
Yep.
that.
And that'll be a long term.
That's the long haul, Beth. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that being said, the application went in for the high school last Friday. I want to thank Ms. Wooten for working.
I'm smiling at you, but you
Working,
can't see.
I'm smiling at my mask, and she's smiling, with Rusty. Rusty came in. So as you know, we submitted a renovate as new and a new build to the state of Connecticut. When the council voted to go to a new build, we had to then redesign our application, update it. There had to be work done by the architect to make sure that everything was changed, and it had to be done by that Friday. So Rusty came down, he met with Tracy. They were able to get into the state site, make changes, and it's a bigger process. A lot of it went through email too, when they were going to add it. But when they got it in under the wire, so that was good news. So thank you, Ms. Wooten, for those efforts. Any questions on the high school building project, or? Oh.
No, I just, sorry.
Jen, I thought you were raising your hand.
No.
Okay.
Well,
There'll be plenty of time for questions.
I think there's going to be a lot of questions coming up as it unfolds.
Oh, yeah.
Between
Absolutely.
choosing the architect and then moving into the building, I think there's going to be just a flow of questions because we're
Oh,
all
it's
going
an
to need
aggressive
to be.
timeline. And
Yeah,
you're
and we
gonna
all need to be
inundated.
educated. I don't know the first thing about building a school.
Well, that's why you have an architect, and that's why, yeah. So they'll walk, but it's gonna be aggressive, their timeline, because our goal is to dig in June.
Yeah,
Right.
and I
So-
think they're trying to keep that too.
They are,
what I
and that's gonna
understand.
push quickly. We're
Right.
almost into, December, so we're gonna move.
All right.
And that's it. My part will be an executive session, so that's all I have.
Yep, we'll be doing the superintendent evaluation in executive session. We'll move into committee reports, negotiations. We did the cafeteria workers, do we have to ratify it?
Do we have to vote on that? Did they ratify it?
Did they ratify it?
There's just an update on highlights of that. This is what-
That's the summary,
the
yeah.
summary. Do you want to share?
Do you do it here, or does that go in?
Well, we can do this in executive session, if you'd like. There's nothing that's,
It's public record.
right.
It's public record.
Are you comfortable doing it?
Yeah, it's public record.
Right, Mark,
Okay,
just
sure.
highlight.
Okay, so in general, the summary of the negotiations between the cafeteria and the board resulted in a increase for the cafeteria workers. That union has two separate classes of employees. Class 1, which are the general workers, and Class 2, which are more of the managers. So the Class 1 employees increased by 2.75% for each year of the contract. And this was done so that their wages actually stay above the state minimum wage. They're not very highly paid, so we needed to increase them by 2.75 in order to meet the new requirements on minimum wage for the coming years. The Class 2, which are more the managers, will receive a 2% increase, which is consistent with the nurses and the secretarial unions. So the total 3-year increase for the entire bargaining unit for all 3 years was $19,692, so that's an average of $6,500 per year. They agreed to a 1% employee premium increase in their insurance contribution, so they're going from 15% to 16% for the current year, followed by 17% and 18% for the following 2 years. They also will no longer be assessed on the blended rate. They'll be assessed at the State of Connecticut Partnership regular rate. It is a 3-year contract. We were able to sunset the severance benefit, so it is only available now to employees hired before July 1st, 2020. And that allows those individuals to receive a partial payment of sick leave when they leave. So that benefit has been sunset. And there also was a revision to the pension plan for employees hired on or after July 1st of this year. They will be entitled to an employer matching contribution of up to 5%. So that we will match. So if they put in 2%, we will put in 2%, up to 5%. And that is pretty much the summary.
So we've negotiated quite a few contracts this year.
Yes.
Four?
Four.
Four?
4 different groups.
Completed 3, working on the 4th.
And we're in the middle now of the custodians. So as that unfolds, we'll keep you in the loop on that.
But do we have to vote on that contract? Have they?
It doesn't say we have to ratify it, so that there's no,
Yeah, I don't,
did I sign it yet?
No, you did
I
not.
didn't sign it yet. I've not signed it yet, so they still have it.
we'll have Bill tomorrow reach
Okay.
out to Paul and
Okay.
see where it's at. We'll get the copy and then we can,
Yeah, and then we'll vote on it next
That's
month.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll put it out for next month.
Yeah.
okay,
We voted on.
all right. Curriculum,
We didn't have a meeting.
okay. Pension, do we have a pension meeting? No? Okay. Policy? Beth, do policy?
Well, we haven't had a meeting. There are a few policies that we have to, I had mentioned earlier, that we have to look at. They still have Dominique's name on it. We just have to
Do you
that.
want to pull them and we'll get them?
Yeah, I have the numbers. 800, 2210, and 2220.
Okay.
So it's just,
800, 2210?
and 2220.
Okay.
Could you say that again? 800?
800, 2210, and 2220. So let's pull those, look at them, change names.
But maybe we shouldn't put a name. We should
We'll put
just
position.
Directly at a position.
Yeah, we'll put
Yeah,
position.
I agree with you on that.
Yep,
It should be
that
the-
way, yep, it
the
should.
title.
We have to change it.
No, it should be their title,
Agreed.
you're right.
Yep,
No, that was good call.
Okay.
yep. Okay, ACES, Jana?
Yes, we had a meeting, let's see. We went over the tuition increases for next year. I have highlighted the ones that affect us. I believe we have kids at Whitney Academy, and that was a 1.86% increase. Mill Academy has a 2.69% increase. Mill Elementary has a 3.47 increase. Village has a 3.49%, and then ECA has a 3.89 increase. And they have the tuition actual figures. I thought the increase rate was more,
Those are significant increases.
Yes, but I did ask if this was average, and this is probably one of the, they said it was about average. Last year was a little higher than this year, and then the year before, I think, maybe 2 years before, they actually didn't have a rate increase, so it's about average. And let's see, there was no services increase for like services ACES provides. And the transportation increase was 3% increase, so, yay!
Full
good news, Jana. What?
We paid for transportation and this,
Yeah.
so it's a 6% increase?
Was there,
The transportation, and Suzanne is not here, but she can specifically go through if, what we try to do is share transportation with other neighboring towns if we can, if we're going to the same school.
Cut down.
But there's
Yeah.
times where we have to pay the library service for one child in either a minibus or a cab.
And ACES did start a transportation
They have a
sharing,
cohort that they're-
yeah,
Okay.
but unfortunately, they weren't the schools that we had kids attending, so we weren't
Well,
eligible.
now you're in COVID, so no.
Yeah, and so, and I do notice we have more in more schools than last year, so. Yeah.
The nexus changes if we've had a number of students that come into foster homes, and then we assume the responsibility of where they came from when they're residing in. So we've had probably 3 or 4 students this year that have come in.
So when the schools were all shut down in March, Did we, and it probably was discussed, was there a refund from
Yeah,
DAC or that
Oh.
program back to us because kids weren't being transported there?
so DACO, we credited and we paid about 76% or something.
But that was
like
our school.
That was our bus services.
That was.
For DACO, a lot of them, I'm trying to think if they stayed live. A lot of the special education service schools can't do the remote learning and they stay active. I can find out if there was any difference.
Some of them did go, but I'm not sure which one correlates to
Right.
where we had students, because this list is different than
Right,
what we
I just
did
didn't know
last
when
year.
they shut down, if there was some kind of, tuition reimbursement of some sort.
But they were still providing the same
Services.
services even if it was virtually, so I don't think they did that
Oh, not the
because.
same.
Well, but it's,
I mean, I don't.
But we don't get a
I'm para
discount.
and-
but we don't get a discount for not,
But
for
we're-
us going virtually, it's the same.
No, I know, but I mean, we're paying, the town is paying for our kids to be bused to that, so it's in addition to. So I
Right,
don't know
and
if it was.
transportation we got
Suzanne.
credits for,
Suzanne can break it out.
yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point.
she's onto that.
I mean, that was most of our meeting, and then, I mentioned that they have a retirement plan, the retirement package that they're offering, and they have so far 15 people who are opting into that, and they have until, February 1st, and it's up to 40, it's open to 40 individuals.
Wow.
And then we approved the benefits for non-bargaining employees. They did not get any kind of rate increase, but they were able to go their step-up increase. And that was about it. So.
Right, there's no building committee yet, but there will be that. And communications committee? I don't even remember a communications committee in October, but it says there was a report.
There was, what was it about? It was.
Oh, it was about the software.
Yeah, you were here.
It was about the software.
Right.
It was about, yeah.
You were here.
Yeah, so-
You were here.
so
I was
the-
late. and I
It was the
sat
software.
That's what I was referencing earlier, right? Looking at
Yes.
the two different softwares, Eunice and what was the other one's name?
Infinite Visions.
And, yep, so that the town and BOE can speak, basically, so we're on the same technology or a technology that is complementary to the other, so they can either at least have view only or partial access, so they can see what the other is doing to streamline business. There's going to be a demo of the two products. We need a date still, and we're waiting on that, and Martha's gonna follow up on that, and we'll have more details to come. Sorry, I completely forgot about it. I mean, I was just referencing
No,
it
and that's the
earlier
next
too.
meeting that they're trying to.
That I'm trying, yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Shall we do visitors and press and go to the board before we go to executive session? Is that okay with everyone? Okay. Is there anything from visitors and press, Bruce?
No, just compliments to Jerome for the project.
Okay, good. Okay, go to the board?
I just want to say, I think everybody's still doing a fantastic job keeping these schools open. Every day my phone goes off that another school is going remote, and it's just, I know it's tough on the administrators and staff and whatnot, but hang in there, you guys are doing a great job, and it's what the kids need the most.
I also want to say the Veterans Day activities they had for the students were excellent. It was all remote in their classrooms, and they were watching, recordings, and I thought that was excellent. So they continue to celebrate Veterans Day even though they couldn't do it in person. So
Thank you.
that was nice.
You know, it is really important. It's great that field hockey got to have a season, and so many of our fall athletes did, but there are several athletes that will not have a season this year, most likely. So my heart goes out to them. There are many thespians that won't be able to participate in a school play this year, and they're not forgotten either. I miss the singing voices. I miss the energy on all the campuses. I miss reading to the students. But I will say they are in school and they are interacting. So for all the things that are breaking my heart, there is still hope. And if anybody needs an ear or is feeling extra sad or struggling, please reach out to your teachers, parents who are available, students, teachers, the board, wherever you need help, we're all willing to do that. This is one reason why we are committed to keeping the school open as long as possible. We want our eyes on you. We want to make your burdens lighter. So if that's not good to the board, I don't know what is.
Well said.
Amen. Thank you.
Okay, motion to adjourn to executive session?
I'll make a motion to adjourn to executive session as per section 1-225 of the Connecticut General Statutes as permitted by section 1-206A of the Connecticut General Statutes to discuss agenda items 7C, leave requests, 8I, superintendent evaluation, and 9A, negotiations, status between the North Branford Board of Education and Local 1303-382 of Connecticut Council Number 4 AFSCME, AFL-CIO, which we did already, cafeteria workers and the contract extension and salary, increase of the superintendent of schools and the director of personnel and business.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, let's go. All in favor?
Aye.
I can't imagine anyone
We're
telling
staying
you.
there. Oh, I got my glasses back. Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to, Mary, I'll give this to you, so. To approve an unpaid leave request for paraprofessional Tony Savino for the 2020-2021 school year. Second.
Discussion? Mary, can we have a roll call?
You may. Chairman Papaholzer?
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes.
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion to approve an unpaid leave request for science teacher Lauren Danner for the 2020-2021 school year.
Second.
Discussion? And can I have a roll call vote?
Chairman Papaholzer?
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes.
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
Lastly, I'd like to make a motion to approve an unpaid parenthood leave request for theater arts teacher Sharon Moniz for the remainder of the 2020-2021 school year. Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote?
Chairman Papaholzer?
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes.
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
Next, I'd like to make a motion to approve a 2% increase for Martha Vaughn, Director of Personnel and Business.
Second.
Covering what year, Mars?
That's what for the 2020-2021 school year. Want a second, please?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? Roll call vote?
Chairman Papaholzer?
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelora?
Yes.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes.
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
Okay, then I'd like, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to extend the contract of the superintendent of schools current through June 30th of 2023.
Second.
Discussion? Mary, roll call vote?
Chairman Papaholzer?
Pass.
Vice Chair Candelora?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes?
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Pass.
I'm sorry?
Pass.
Chairman Papaholzer?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
And I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, excuse me. You still pass or you
No,
pass?
she said.
She said no.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I got no.
I didn't hear it, sorry.
Good?
Yeah?
Then I'd like to make a motion to increase the superintendent's salary by 2% for the 2020-2021 school year with no other changes in his contract.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Chairman Papaholzer?
Yes.
Vice Chair Candelara?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
Yes.
Janet Balsamo?
Yes.
Vincent Mace?
Yes.
Marcine Afrio?
Yes.
Cynthia Rice?
Yes.
The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Thursday, December 17th, 2020. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna give you the